Good, beautiful morning, everybody, and welcome to the Monday edition of Shortcuts for Your Soul. My name is William Michael Forbes. I'm a spiritual medium and channel and an intuitive life coach. And I have with me today the energy of the Divine Collective. We want to talk about the great inner conflict. And this is something that I found delightful and simple and elegant. They say the great inner conflict is because you are distracted by the outside world. It is keeping you outside of yourself so that you cannot make the necessary corrections that you need to your minds, to your bodies, and to your soul. You're at a very interesting time, both individually and collectively, in terms of what you are capable of doing and being. Many of you find yourself conflicted with what you know is supposed to be a good life, living in discomfort and suffering quite unnecessarily. Our goal is very simple today, to remind you that there are 4 facets to your life, to your existence, that you need to evaluate. And you must evaluate these from your own understanding and not necessarily from the information being provided. But we will provide you information that you can logically and soundly analyze so that you can validate the truth of them from within yourself, and not simply because we give you words that might sound good and righteous. It is important that you come to the natural conclusion of what is true and what is not true for yourself, that you might understand. So you have this existence in this physical world. In this physical world, you have a body, an instrument, a vehicle that you opened up to one day. You entered into this world through that body, and you began to get familiar with that body that you find yourself in. You began to observe that you experienced senses, vibrations, sounds, and colors that you know as these things now, but was simply experienced by you as energy. That body loaned itself to you, allowing you to experience this physical world in a very precise and direct way. Your body was also subjective and amenable to the influences of the environment, in that sounds and smells and touches and tastes gave you experiences that you could, by your awareness of them, define as good or not so good. Ones based in pain for the body were deemed not good, and those based in making the body feel pleasure were considered good. That is the scope of what your body is able to do for you, to define what is good for the body and what is not good for the body. That is the scope of your physical body. That you have this other component, the second element of your consciousness, called your mind. It is a place where you store experiential information that you gather through the physical dimension, through your 5 physical senses. That information gets stored electromagnetically in the structure of what you call your neurology or your nervous system. Some think it's exclusively the brain, but your entire body is, in a sense, a giant brain that stores and remembers information very specific to experiences that you have. And its function is to store information that you gather while you're in this physical dimension. That is the second element, your mind. While your mind has 2 primary components to it, that which is the conscious mind, where you are able to hear these words at this very moment. You're able to see and smell and touch. Your mind simply has a conscious element that allows you to see what you see. There is an unconscious element, the place where you store you might say, the infinite reservoir of all acquired experience stored in a field that your science would call the subconscious mind, the subjective mind, the spiritual mind, what some of your spiritual leaders would call the Akashic records, wherein all information from all experience is available in that field. And so you have the body, and you have the mind, and then there is you. You are an awareness. You came into this body by way of vibrational attraction and resonance. The body you are in is unique to what you are as a spiritual consciousness, an awareness, a soul, if we can use that term. And as a soul, you are a free agent to experience life through the physical body you are currently existing in. You are designed by nature to be able to assert very specific authority over both your mind and its two components, the conscious mind and the subconscious mind, and your physical body. By nature, you are designed to be the sole authority over that mind and body that you currently are in possession of. For you are in possession of the body you are hearing these words through. You are in possession of the information that is contained within the mind of your body, the experiential data, both conscious and unconscious. You are in charge of them in the natural order of things. And yet somehow many of you believe that you are not in charge of your thinking apparatus or your biological apparatus, and yet evidence would certainly indicate that the truth is obvious, that you can tell a body to do something, it will do something. That there may be certain functions that may be restricted to one person or another, such as walking or talking, or what you would call genetically acquired conditions, which are again information resurrected from the past and brought into the present, which when resolved, a condition can be ameliorated if you understand the function of the fourth component of your experience here, which is spirit or energy. Spirit or energy, what some of you call emotion. Emotion is the substance of this spirit, this infinite source of energy that gives life to all existence, that is the perpetual motion machine of existence. This substance that we are calling spirit, your science would call energy. From a subjective state in your own biology, in your own psychology, this energy can be defined as emotion, which is energy in motion. There is no function that you will ever perform in this physical dimension that is not based in the movement of emotional energy of one kind or another. Action requires a causal agency to produce an effect. So the actions of biology, the actions of psychology are in fact movements of emotional energy induced into different levels of expression. The action component of physical actions, the act of smiling, the act of charity, the act of work, these require a quality of energy in the form of an emotion to be performed. The actional behavior of an energy that you would call joy, which is a component of the spectrum of emotion, which is quite broad in its scope, that you are able to access that joy. And when it is embodied, the function of biology is then determined by that emotional energy. As your biology is also determined in its expression by the nature and quality of every other emotion, from the range of the deepest, lowest vibrational energy relative to the highest vibrational energy, which would be in the spectrum of human consciousness, fear and love. And each of these definitions of energy, love and fear, contain within them a very vast spectrum of expressions. Some from relative positions in each can be considered higher or lower relative to something else. In other words, you might think that somebody who is laughing is happy, and that is a spectrum in the vibrational state of love, happiness. And then there is the other side of that spectrum, sadness, where the function of that emotional spectrum would be relative to that, be considered a lower vibrational state. But each in and of itself can be altered and changed dependent upon the position of your awareness at any given moment. This fourfold nature that you get to experience while you're in this physical dimension has its value in that you will come to understand that what is your role as a creating intelligence. What is your purpose for being here? What is the function of your existence here? And are you able to learn how to use the body, the mind, your awareness, and the energy of spirit to create your lives as an intentional experience and manifestation of creative consciousness? Are you able to do this? This becomes very important for you to understand that you are able to do this. To overcome lower vibrational emotions, it requires that one be aware that the emotional substance is not the source and nature of your identity, but a reflection of the ideas, informations that you choose to connect your attention to and validate with your own being. That is to say, if you are focusing on a thought form, the idea of joy, or the idea of fear, or the idea of excitement, these three different facets of energy, you can be aware of them in thought, but have no emotional function occur until the emotional function is allowed into action. The moment an emotion is allowed into action, it becomes a function of behavior. And only from the perspective of your awareness can you select and choose which emotion you will allow as your function of behavior. Now, the challenge many of you face is not recognizing that most of what you have in your conscious and subconscious minds relative to the physical existence you currently have, most of what is there was not of your own conscious choosing. The ideas and beliefs and values that you currently exist through were mostly given to you and are being given to you on a continual basis. Until a process of evaluation begins, then you're pretty much stuck with what you believe, what you keep yourself attached to in thoughts as being true or false. But only from the perspective of your awareness can you begin to execute deliberate and intentional changes in the function of thought. And having the opportunity to do so, you can begin to change the function of emotion through your body and into your life. All events and circumstances surrounding the existence of your life right now are precise productions of the overall emotional and mental information that you have stored in your nervous system. That is, all the information you've acquired and hold is causing the effects that you deem to be your life as it is, whatever that may be now, whether you are sitting in a jail cell or sitting in a castle. The net result of what you see around you is a product exactly and precisely of the most dominant emotional energy and thoughts combined with them that you are experiencing. So you are in effect experiencing the manifestation of your own emotions as a creative experience. And if that is displeasing to you, take heart in this, that at any moment of time, you have the capacity and the ability to alter and change your emotional energy. You have the ability and power to alter and change the nature and the quality of the types of thoughts that are held in your mind. And the moment you're able to do so, you will begin to alter and change the manifestation of what you call your life around you. The nature and quality of your emotions, when they become a function of your deliberate awareness, where you are selectively and intelligently choosing thoughts and ideas to indulge in, then you will also likewise begin to generate emotions that represent and reflect those thoughts. There are elements of time involved in this process of transitioning from suffering to love, from pain to joy, that you must recognize that as long as you believe that there's something outside of you that is a controlling agency over what you are thinking and what you are feeling, then you have negated the very thing you need to engage, which is your deliberate realization that you can choose your thoughts, and those thoughts generate emotions, that you do not have to be subjective to the ideas and information of other people. And that the moment you allow yourself to become subjective to the ideas and information of other people, you run the risk then of becoming subjective to the reality that they project at you. You see much division politically and socially on this planet. You see a great gap between what you call the wealthy and the poor. And these, again, are products and effects and causes of ideas and beliefs transmitted back and forth from one group of individuals to another, one accepting, one creating. So the question you need to ask yourself is, are you ready and prepared? Are you ready and prepared to take autonomy over what your mind will think and what you will choose to believe about who and what you are as a consciousness? The great inner conflict is a direct result of your denial of the function that you have over thought and emotion. Believing that something outside of yourself has greater authority over you than you yourself do is the primary cause of the great conflict that so many on this world are suffering from. You see it in your so-called health services. You see it in your poverty. You see it in your social decay that you are currently witnessing on a global scale. And there are but a few individuals that have what you would call complete and total mastery over their thinking mind. Complete and total mastery over what they will allow to go in their mind. Therefore, having complete and total authority over what emotion will function creatively through them. But a handful of individuals have mastered this. And all others, in varying degrees, are subjective to that. And yet the time of the great awakening is here as well, where the energy, the vibration, the knowledge, and the information is available to every single soul upon this planet. But you are seduced by the distractions of the senses that are perpetuated and stuck in your face on a moment-to-moment basis. There are very few places you can go where you do not see some sort of device telling you what to think, what to believe, what to say, what to do. And you find yourself believing you will get some sort of comfort in doing so, and yet if you were going to get comfort simply doing what you've been told to do and thinking what you've been told to think, then you would all be very comfortable right now, wouldn't you? So to understand the great inner conflict that you may be experiencing, the great conflicts that you see unfolding around this planet, are also precipitating events over which, if you believe that you have no authority over your own consciousness and your own creative process, will have an inevitable result. You have had many instances in your so-called history where you have questioned, why are these civilizations just skeletons? Where did they go? What happened to them? You must understand the nature and quality of energy and how it affects the conditions of time, space, and matter. Humans have mistakenly believed that they are somehow victims of a mysterious cosmos that is moving around them. No, nothing could be further from the truth. You are divine creators, and as such, civilizations that have risen and fallen have followed that process from love to fear, or from fear to love. The existing environmental conditions of your world are not what you need to be concerned about. What you need to be concerned about from a very practical perspective is how are your emotions affecting the planet? How are your emotions affecting the greater solar system? How are you utilizing energy? What are you causing as effects? For every civilization that you unveil from the depths of the sand and the depths of the ocean, and there are many more than you have discovered, fail to understand the causal nature of their emotional energy. And your civilizations have repeatedly loaned themselves to individuals ascending to authority and more remaining subjective. If you understand that your emotion can literally organize a universe, that the functions of the seasons that you see on this earth were not always this way. There were times where your seasons were quite mono. You had a summer, as you would call it, year-round. There were times where you had what you call a winter year-round. You call them what you will. But every civilization has produced very specific outcomes in the environment. There was a time when this planet had what you call two suns, where there was no need for modern civilization, as food was aplenty everywhere at all times. None would go hungry. As the functions of power and authority began to take hold in the minds of humans, civilizations began to evolve based on that function of control and power and authority, that some would rule and some would be ruled. And ultimately that loaned itself to the existing system you see in your planet, where you see the seasons divided into 4 different types. As well, there are cataclysmic rhythms that happen in your solar system because of the emotional interactions. You think that you were the only civilization that lived on this planet. You think you were the only civilization that lived in the solar system. No, those few in authority that, again, do not understand how to liberate themselves from the very prison they placed you in, that cannot help you to change and alter your mind enough to prevent what might yet happen. But it is not beyond this. It's not beyond your capability to change this. It is not beyond your capability to change what has been inevitable for some 62,000 years on your planet. You have the ability to emotionally alter and change your environment. Every one of you, united in this understanding, can alter and move an asteroid with your emotions if you are united. The functions of fear through the human organism produce very inevitable results, and the functions of love through the human organism produce very inevitable results. The civilizations rising from the sand, discovered in the oceans, are examples of how fear has caused many civilizations to cascade into decay. And yet there is 1 or 2 civilizations upon this planet that have not done so. They remain hidden from you. It is better to understand that you have the authority to change your thinking mind, to alter and change the emotional energy that you embody, which becomes the function of your experiences here. That each and every one of you can alter and change the emotional energy that is the source of what you call the experiences you are having. Your emotions are causing the effects that you see as your life around you, every one of you. Every one of you. There's not one among you that is greater or lesser than the other in capacity. But there is a difference in terms of your ability to understand. But it is not beyond your comprehension to think thoughts consciously. It's not beyond your ability to know that certain thoughts will generate very specific emotions, and that those emotions will cause you to initiate actions through your body. That by gaining the authority over your thinking mind, being able to evaluate and cultivate a different mind, that you can generally create different emotional energies, which again will alter and change what you call your life experience here. This is true individually as it is true collectively, that the collective emotional energy of humanity can and does affect the changes that you can see in your environments around you, the functions of the activities of your star, what you call your star, the functions of many of the actions of this earth. You have a direct relationship with through your emotional energy. Your emotional energy is continually interacting with time and space external to your biology, but it is through your biology you are transmitting certain qualities of emotion by way of the mechanism of thought, which stimulates them into functionality. Thought stimulates emotions into functionality, and those emotions stimulate your body into action. Those actions cause specific things, whether it be the love a mother extends to a child, or the battle-ready individuals in fields of war. Emotion is the driver of all human conditions. Your subjectivity to your mind and your subjectivity to your body, believing that your identity is them, disempowers you completely from the position of authority that you have. The belief that your body is somehow more powerful and greater than what you are will keep you in a place where you can do very little with your life. To understand that you are a divine entity, a soul, a consciousness, that you can change and alter thought, which in turn changes and alters the function of biology, which in turn changes and alters the signals, the information you transmit to the world that sets up the conditions of your life. If you awaken to this realization, if you can step away from your subjectivity to the body, step away from your subjectivity to the information in your mind, and begin to evaluate what information is going to prove vibrationally or emotionally more beneficial to you. The functions of fear have a tendency to shorten your experiences in this world. The functions of fear organizes the conditions of matter very differently than the functions of love. It is between these two that you have a choice. To choose one or the other, you cannot choose both. But in order to have this choice, you must realize that you are awareness, that you are aware of thought, that you are aware that the body is an instrument that you came here to learn through creatively, and that you must be very selective and deliberate and mindful of what thought you will choose to let your mind engage in, and what thought you will choose to accept from others. For every thought produces an electromagnetic energy that gets translated into the substance of emotion that determines many of the functions that occur in your biology, and therefore many of the actions you will perform in the world, or not perform, as the case might be, as your fear can delay you from doing things that you know you need to do, whereas love would simply jump at every opportunity to be more of itself. The great inner conflict will end when you begin the process of awakening, of realizing that you are not your thoughts, of realizing that your body is an instrument that you use, of remembering that you are a soul, and experiencing consciousness coming into this condition of time, space, and matter as you've identified it, to gain experience in the interaction of your consciousness with a different potential. You are a soul, and you have access to an infinite source of energy. While you're in this biological experience, you call it emotion, but it is simply energy. Energy that can be created but not destroyed, that can be changed from one state to another. You can change emotion from one state to another. You can generate new emotion. It is your choice. It is your ability. It is what you came here to learn to do, to remember that you are, in fact, a divine entity learning the function of creation. Understand this. Even in your scriptures, it talks about how you were made in the image and likeness of what you call God. In the image and the likeness, which means you are a creator, a creating intelligence. It would not be such a noble pursuit to try to discover that which made you at this point in time. It would be wiser to pursue that when you understand and have acquired proper autonomy and authority over your mind, your emotions, and your environment. The three fit together. If your mind is in chaos, then you will create chaotic emotions and you will create chaos in your environment. If you understand this, then that will be your primary concern, is to remember that you are awareness. You can evaluate, alter, and change thought, which alters and changes the electromagnetic energy that you generate, that causes behavior, that produces and creates the effects that you experience in your physical world. You cause the effects that you are seeing in your life. And those that have given you information and ideas that are not so good, that tell you life is very hard, that it's supposed to be hard, that it's supposed to be difficult, be very mindful of what thoughts you will choose to adopt. Be very mindful of what thoughts you will choose to adopt from any source. For there are many here that gain great advantage because of your fear, that have trained you to believe that the limits of your nature are to be a position of a job from 9 to 5. Not that that is such a terrible thing, but that is all there is to your life. At what point do you realize you are a divine entity, that you're capable of so much more than what you are being told? But the choice is exclusively yours, and will always be exclusively yours the moment you become aware that you are not your thoughts. The moment you can evaluate your thoughts and say, what will this thought cause in my life? Thoughts of judgment, whether they be loving judgment or fearful judgment, each will yield its own result in your life. But the great inner conflict will begin to end the moment you begin to restore yourself to that position of awareness where you begin to evaluate the thoughts in your mind. And if you cannot quite evaluate the thoughts in your mind, then evaluate what is around you, for what is around you will reveal very much what is within you. What is around you will reveal very much what is within you. And you can then draw a line back to your own mind. What are the thinkings I have in my mind that have created these conditions? You might have thoughts that you are poor, or that you are unhealthy, or that you don't have enough, or you might not be good enough. And these thoughts will loan themselves to being validated by your experiences. But at the moment you recognize, these are the thoughts, I'm going to change these thoughts. I'm going to create a different emotional energy when I change my thoughts. That's what will happen. It begins there. And if you can sustain and maintain the new thought, there's a period of building up its energy, a process of regenerating energy, because all thought is regenerative and accumulative. That is to say that if you've accumulated a bunch of negative thoughts in your mind, they have a certain quantity of emotional energy that they generate. So that when you begin to create new thoughts and ideas, those thoughts and ideas, that even if they're new, will generate a new energy. But then it's a matter of being able to keep your energy and attention on these new thoughts and ideas so that they accumulate and regenerate sufficiently enough as to counter the old thought processes of your mind. Remember these 4 elements. You have a body that is an instrument that you are inhabiting while in this physical dimension. It is not you. It is the instrument that you use while experiencing creation in this dimension. You have an instrument called the mind that has 2 components to it, a conscious component that you're hearing these words with right now, and an unconscious component that is the storehouse of all of your experience and knowledge. And that you are a soul, a spirit of universal light, an awareness capable of evaluating, shifting, changing, and modifying thought. Therefore, being able to also modify, alter, and change qualities of energy that we call emotions. And the 4th and most important element is the substance of what we call the spirit, which is the limitless and ever-present source of energy that is available to all on all timelines, on all dimensions. Every life form on this planet has access to that same infinite functioning intelligence. Begin the process of remembering who you are as a spiritual awareness. Learn to begin to remake your mind, evaluate your thinking and your thoughts. For there are not one among you that is not creating what you are experiencing. There's not one amongst you that is not creating what you are experiencing. Whether you are conscious of this fact or not, this is true. When you become conscious of that fact and you begin to evaluate the thinking that's causing the effects in your life, you will begin to liberate yourself from your conflicts, the ideas that do not uplift you to your highest estate, and you can embody new ideas and new information so as to induce the function of creation as an act of your will to produce the changes in your life that will be most valuable to you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Let's take that down. Take that down too. There we go. Good morning, everybody. Hope you guys had a wonderful weekend. Life is offering us all kinds of wonderful things. Got a question on TikTok. My brother passed away a year ago today. Is he around? Christina. Wow. Yes, he is. Yes. He's very excited and preoccupied with what he is experiencing, because he's experiencing a very different realm of creation than you're familiar with. Do you have a message for her? I'm hearing him say, tell Again, I'm hearing the words Patty, to tell Patty it's okay. Tell Patty it's okay. Yeah, he's saying like, he wants you to go on. He wants you to be happier. There is no, the word death has to be removed from the human language. It has to be removed from the human language. It's really should be transition. You're transitioning from physical consciousness to non-physical consciousness. In the shade of the trees. Yeah. I'm being given a picture of a big tree. It's like more of a bushy tree, but it's in a backyard. There's a fence around the yard, and there's a chair by that tree. He's sitting by that tree with you when you're there. He's sitting by the tree with you when you're there. Yes. He says he comes by to help alleviate some of the illusion of sadness you have. He comes by to eliminate the illusion of sadness that you currently have. I like that. Thank you. Wonderful. Question from Nancy. Last night I dreamt the sky opened and lots of puffs of light blue clouds poured down. It was amazing. Can you tell me what this signifies? Yes, you've opened up your crown chakra, and you can start pulling in new ideas, new thoughts, new visions for your life. You need to become conscious of them, though. The dream state is where you recognize you're accessing this information as a soul, but you need to embody them. Go back or go into the feeling you felt, the amazing feeling. Stay in the amazing feeling. Like, I would do this for like 3 days in a row for 10 minutes. Just stay in that amazing feeling that you got from that. This will help bring the energy down and anchor it into your body, which will allow the manifestations to be transmitted into this world a little easier than they would normally. That's really cool. How do I become so much more? I feel held back. That feeling that you feel of held back in your body, it lives in your body. You want to release that feeling from your body. It's a very simple way they've taught us to do this. So you find where that feeling is in your body of like, I feel held back. For you, I get a feeling it feels like in your chest area right here, where you feel like you're held back. So what you need to do is you need to literally release that feeling from the body. You can do it with your breath. You can literally breathe and release that feeling from your body with love and grace. Just release that feeling and then replace the feeling. Replace the feeling with a feeling of freedom. You might use your imagination to create images that will generate that energy. Like you see yourself being wealthy or playing on a beach or being around lots of people, but you need to create ideas that generate the new energy that would represent being free. Right now you're stuck on the feeling of stuck that's held in your body. You need to release that feeling and then embody ideas and information into the system to generate new emotions that represent what is freedom. You know, what would your face look like if you were free? How would your body be feeling if you were in joy? And you want to create the energy. People don't know they have to bring energy into the body. Most people have been trained to depend upon the environment, which is what they were just saying. Most people have been trained to depend upon the environment to make them feel a certain way, not knowing that you are actually able to create new emotions. You can create new energy. You don't have to wait for the environment or the world to do it for you. You can generate new thought, new emotion that will create a different life for you. Thought, Master Jesus says it all the time. What you believe, that is what you think and hold in your mind, so it shall be. And it's very true. It's very, very true. You want to embody a better emotion. Thank you for that. Okay, so thank you for subscribing. We got our first subscriber now. I'm so happy. Thank you. You can subscribe. I've got a goal up here of getting 5 subscribers to my channel. So thank you Thank you so much on TikTok. I really appreciate that. Wow, wonderful. Thank you so much. Are readings still accurate over video chat? Actually, yes, they are. They're extremely accurate. And again, there's so much information that comes in that, depending on whether or not you get a half hour or 1 hour reading, you get exactly what you need to move on. Again, your guides, your angels, the beings that work with you, whether they're archangels or ascended masters or other spiritual entities, is unique and distinct to every person. But yeah, you will get a lot. And again, in-person readings, which is what we generally do here. You can certainly ask questions, and you know, go through my link tree. If you want to ask like a single question, I'll send you a single answer for that question from your guides and angels. But the reading is far more potent face to face, which is why we do it live on Skype. And the readings are recorded, so you can download it immediately afterwards and experience the information. It's pretty profound. Thank you so much. I have surgery tomorrow. Will I be okay? Yes, you will. What you want to do, yeah, I can feel that up in the lung area here. You need to release the fear from this part of your body. You're holding fear. Release the fear from your body. People have not been taught. You can teach yourself and train your body to not hold on to fear, right? But yeah, you're going to be okay tomorrow. Yes. Make sure you smile. I'm being told to tell you, make sure you smile at all the doctors and nurses that are going to be present, and say thank you. Say thank you before they start, and release the fear. Release the fear from your body. Like literally, you can do that. You can just breathe. Go. And release the fear from your body with love and grace. Just release it. You know, humanity's been so conditioned by time and environment to think that everything you need to create what you want comes from outside of you. No, you generate the emotions inside that create behaviors. So release that fear, and please, when you get it, I'm told that you're actually going to encounter an angel during the surgery. You're going to encounter an angel during the surgery. They're not telling you who they are, but they're going to connect with you during the surgery. Kind of like spiritual hand-holding, if you like. And so I hope you enjoy that. Question from Sapphire Joy B. Who is my guide? May I find out the name? Any message for me today, please? I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's in a foreign tongue. I don't understand it. But he's tall. He's tall. He's wearing. This is an African shaman. He's very tall. Very tall. He's got a long staff with a pink crystal on top of it. I don't understand. Alabea. That's the best. I'm going to pronounce it phonetically. What I'm hearing, Alabea. Alabea is the name I'm pronouncing phonetically from him. Yes. He's saying something about 3 times. Speak his name 3 times. Speak his name 3 times to feel the presence of his energy with you. Right? He's just showing me. Speak his name 3 times. He's tapping his staff. Right? 3 times. And feel the presence of his energy with you. That's really cool. Not every guide has wings. Let's see. Hey, Chris, good to see you, brother. Is my grandma Cecilia around me and my mom family? Yes, she is. She says you're all too worried about it. She says you're all too worried about it. What is it? I don't know what it is, but she says you're all too worried about it. Whatever it is, she says you're all too worried about it. Also, ask other family members to do this whenever they find themselves thinking of her, to tell them to stop and feel what's around them energetically, because they'll feel her energy. You know, when they're around us, they don't, you don't start thinking about somebody for no reason at all. Something stimulates that activity, so you become conscious of it. It's usually their energy interacting with our own. It's so good. Yeah, I like that. I'm just putting something on the screen for Chris there. Is my dad at peace? Yes, he is. He went missing in 2018. We found his remains in 2022. Is his spirit okay? Yes, please understand that. Yeah, we all have different ways of leaving. The body is not the soul. Your body is it's temporary. Your dad's totally okay. He keeps saying the word oops. He just says oops, but he's saying it in a really funny way. Oops. Yes. Yes. He's showing me again. He's showing me something about catching something. I don't know what it is, but he caught some. I don't know what it is. Something about catching something, but he's okay. I want to say it's important you understand when you find yourself thinking of somebody that has left the physical body, they're trying to connect to you energetically. Like if you pause, what most people go to, oh, I'm remembering so and so, and they died. No, you're remembering so and so because their energy is interacting with your system electromagnetically, and you're perceiving the vibration of them, but you've got a belief in your mind, and that belief that they're dead is triggered, so you don't get to experience the communication with them. So the next time any of you find yourself suddenly thinking of a loved one that's left this dimension, pause, take a deep breath, relax, and just be present with their energy. Stop letting your mind think they're missing. The minute you tell your mind they're missing, you block them with energy. You literally set up an energy that separates you from them, because now your mind thinks they're missing. It creates an emotional field that prevents you from perceiving them. So the moment you catch yourself having a thought about your loved one, pause and be present with their energy. I promise you that period of mourning will almost go away completely, because you'll recognize the body is not who they were. It's simply the instrument they were using to express creatively in this physical dimension. But thank you so much. Question from Rue Lorca. Is there a message for me I need to hear right now? Thank you. If you're doing any gardening, start planting right now. Somebody's telling me you want to start planting the garden now. Like, start planting the garden now. Yeah, the devas, the devas will begin to work with you now. Like, this is the time to do it for you. For you, that's not necessarily true for anybody else, but for you, they're saying they want to work with you in the garden. So start planting your garden now. Like, now. This is the time they'll be at peak for you. Question from Beth. What will happen if many of us put love out to the universe all at once? Well, this is what's happening for a lot of people. You know, you hear biblically they talk about heaven and hell, and what they keep telling me is the same thing. About 4 years ago, there were 1 billion people beginning to awaken to who they are as a spiritual consciousness. The number has since increased to 2 billion. And a lot of these people are generating, there's groups all over the world now, sitting down actively, creating a field of love and generating that out. So what will happen is it will literally electromagnetically change things. Just like right now you see on the planet the last 2.5 years, where the electromagnetic frequency of fear was generated through mass media communications and through the whole nonsense that was manufactured by a bunch of deception and lies. And that created fear. And we saw what happened in the world, in people, in countries, protests, wars, poverty increases, massive suicide. So the feelings of energy of fear create very specific outcomes. So the vibrations and energy of love will create very different outcomes in our world and in the universe in general. So yeah, we affect the sun with our consciousness collectively. We affect the earth with our consciousness collectively. We are an interactive system. So that's a really great thing, though. If you want to join our group 1 Billion Strong on Facebook, please go do that. 1 Billion Strong on Facebook, where we recommend that you do a meditation for 5 minutes at noon and 5 minutes at 12 p.m. at night, and just go into a feeling of love and radiate that feeling of love out to everyone and everything that you can for 5 minutes, right? Do that for 5 minutes. You'll begin to change your life, and it will affect the others. You know, even the sound of music will change the way a person moves their body. So if you're generating a feeling of love, yeah, you're going to affect the universe. That's a great question. Thank you so much for sharing that. I love that. Question from Drusilla. Any message for me today? Somebody needs a vacation. Somebody needs to go somewhere very, very quiet and peaceful, away from the known. You need to go away from the known. And again, wow. Yeah, somewhere like Bali would be a really good place for you to go at this time to get the kind of grounding that you can't get where you are. You can't get the kind of grounding where you are that you can get in a place like Bali. Thank you so much, Drusilla. I appreciate the question. Question from Alyssa. Are there any messages from my unborn baby? Oh, wow. Woohoo! Yeah. Like, that's the it's not words, because they don't have words. Just this joy and this bliss. Just this literally feeling like radiating out like a sun radiating out. There's just pure joy. One of the things that most people don't understand, that the reason we all came here was in response to a call for love. You know, you came into this world, every one of us came into this world in this vibration of love. We came in answer to a call for love and to create and to manifest from love. And we came into a world that's based in a physical reality that's got pleasure and pain in it. And the functions of pleasure and pain influenced what we evolved ourselves into as souls. But your child is so happy and looking forward to this. Wow. Do not fear the change. Yes. Stay in your function of love. That's I'm being told to tell you that. Stay in your function of love. Yes. Again, something about music. This one's going to like music significantly. This one's going to really enjoy music significantly. I like that. Thank you so much. When will my psychic abilities become more advanced? This is from Star Bernice 888 on TikTok. Every single human being on this planet has psychic abilities. Everyone. But what happens is you come into a physical body. Every one of us went through this process. I went through it. You're going through it. And so this is a really important question they're asking. When will your psychic abilities begin to open? When you begin to develop them. And most people don't understand how to do that because they've been disconnected from them. We've been so pulled into the world of the senses of sight, sound, touch, taste, and smell. Your whole attention went away from your inner being to this outer world, and you've been trapped in the outer world. So you want to go back inward. Now we have a masterclass that you might want to go and check out my website, williammichaelforbes.com, and check out our masterclass series there. Our beginner's masterclass runs people through a process where you can begin to redevelop those inner senses: clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and claircognizance. That's to see without eyes, to hear without ears, to know without apparent means of knowing, to feel without any physical apparatus telling you what you're sensing. And you can learn to open up your clairs again. When children are born, they're fully intact. All your clairs, your five senses, they're all equally intact at a point of equal potential for development. But what happens is the material world around us focuses on our sensorial self, not on learning to meditate, learning to keep the mind quiet, learning to still the emotions. None of that is taught to children. Children aren't taught that they can change their thoughts. Children aren't taught that they can alter emotions by changing thoughts. Children aren't taught that they can learn to slow their heart rate down or speed their heart rate up or interact with biology in very different ways. There's so many things that we're not taught, but that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking it. And thank you for that super chat, Priscilla. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Just going down here. Question from SJK. I'm thankful for the injured piggy who has befriended me. I'm glad he didn't bite me yesterday when I put the harness on him. Oh, that's great. Thank you. I'm happy for your that you befriended a little pig that was injured. Maybe you can share a picture with him. Send us a picture of your little piggy. I'll post it up on the live chat next time people can see it. Where is my grandfather? Can you please tell me, please? Yeah, he doesn't want to be found. Yeah. You understand the process of leaving the body is varied. Some people leave the body very quickly. Some leave the body slowly. And there are scientific terms for people that start to lose their mind. They're not losing their mind. They're rebuilding a new experiential consciousness outside of the body. As your soul begins to depart from the body, you don't have the same authority over it anymore because you're not staying. You're moving into a new house, so to speak. And your grandfather's in that process, moving from one state of consciousness to another. But nobody's ever lost. He's not lost. Yes, and he loves you. Oh, he wants me to change that. He said he loved you very, very much. In your heart. In your heart, you can know that love. That's why you keep reaching out to him, because you know he loves you. So when you feel the love that you feel for your grandfather, he wants me to tell you to go to the love that you feel. That is the place where we are always together in that vibration of love. It is not missing. It is not missing from your life. My love is not missing from your life. It is in your heart. It's in your heart. I'm being shown an old silver flask too. Something that he wants you to have. It's a silver little flask. It's like, I think it's sterling silver, but it's got like an emblem, like a castle or something on one side. But he wants you to have that. He wants you to have that. Here we go. I had to make a really tough choice and lost a baby. Is that baby okay? Does he forgive me? Hi, Share Bear. Yes, I understand. The baby, that soul will always be okay. Understand, the function of pregnancy is not a matter of inconvenience. It's a matter of you and the person that you connected to produce a vibrational frequency that allows that individual to manifest itself in consciousness. That you would choose to not allow that process is your God-given right to choose that. But know the reality of it is that you were a vibrational match for that being, and they will come back to you. They will come back to you because you have the right frequency for them. You'd be surprised if you could learn to trust the process of creation, if you understood that everything that's happening in your life is a product of what is going on in your conscious or subconscious mind, and that you have an obligation to yourself, a responsibility to yourself, to lift up your consciousness, to change and alter the functions of thought in your mind so you can creatively produce energy, emotions that will create the outcomes you want. But yeah, the baby has no animosity towards you. That soul has no animosity towards you. Disappointed that there's a delay. But yeah, no, you're okay. You're good. But just understand that every soul, the only way a soul can come into this physical dimension as a physical entity is through women. It's the only way that a soul can physically come into this dimension is through women. And it's a sacred function to be a doorway for another soul to come and experience what it is to be human. What a blessing. I'm so happy for you. I'm so happy that you get to have the ability to be a doorway for others to come into this world and experience creation, to bring their love here, right? Remember, children come into this world in response to a call for love. Question from Vertical. Which entity visits me late at night with a loud bang at times? I'm getting that's Metatron. Archangel Metatron is trying to connect with you at night. Yes. He wants you to get up and start meditating when that happens. He wants you to get up and start meditating when that happens. So you can receive, he's saying, so you can receive the keys and codes that you've been requesting. That's really cool. I like that. Question. Hello, Emanuela. It is my birthday today. I would love a reading. She is going gray. That's a very interesting handle. Yeah, well, happy birthday, first and foremost. Happy Annam Day. Your birthday happened the moment you came into existence. But a message for you. I'm getting two male figures coming in from behind me. They stand on either side of you. There's something about it. There's some guy with a bandana. Get out of here. There's another guy coming in with a bandana on his head. But these two beings are standing behind you. They're right. They want you to know they're right behind you. You are not alone in this. You're not alone in this. I don't know what they're referring to, but you're not alone in this. They are right behind you. She's going to be crossing the threshold very soon. Yes. The door is about to open for you. The door is about to open for you. Feel our presence, that we may loan our energy to you, that you might expedite this. Yes. But the door is about to open. Thank you for that. Share with us your thoughts and comments on what that means for you, because it's nice when people get feedback from others. Hi, Steph Stackhouse. Is my mom at peace, and does she have a message for me? She's more like she's excited. It's more like a party going on wherever she is. Energetically, she's like celebrating. When you leave the physical dimension, you do not cease to exist. But yeah, she's like really, she's not at peace. She's excited, which is, I don't know if you want to call that better or not, but she's excited where she is now. She's surrounded by, I don't know who they are, but she's surrounded by there's really like a very, it's like a party. The best way I can put it, it's like there's a party going on that she's part of. Much learning, much change. Yes. Much learning, much change. And she wants me to ask you about the dog, how the dog is. That's something important to her, how the dog is. So I'm asking you to, on her behalf, how is the dog? Let us know. So she'll hear you, by the way. The moment you think it in your mind, she hears you. Right? They hear us. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. Someone saying, how beautiful are your words, that we are all here because of love. My deep grief has been being healed and developed by music and love. I started bravely singing on stage besides dancing. Well, congratulations, Sarita. Love is the way. Humanity doesn't realize that we have a choice between love and fear, or most people don't, but people are waking up now. If you adhere to fear, it's very difficult. If you adhere to love, it's very exciting. How are we doing? I'm so happy. I got all these funny little things happening on TikTok that I've never seen before. Little bird things and fascinating things. I wonder who that new subscriber is. Can I see it on this other device here? I wonder. Okay, so I'm just trying to get back to my. There we go. I'm just curious. I've got this other device here that's trying to turn on. Okay, don't worry about it right now. Then. Okay. I got time for 2 more questions, guys, and then we're going to head out. T. Miller is my friend that just passed away that I've been catching glimpses of around me lately. Yes, it is. It is your friend. And commune with his energy. Like when you catch those flashes, pause and stop and just go into the feeling of their presence. Like when you find yourself thinking of somebody that's made their transition out of the physical dimension, pause. You know, the reason people suffer when somebody leaves is because they believe that's the end of them. Never going to see them again. And you're not. You're never going to see that body again. That's the truth. But you can connect to their energy, their soul. Their soul is not a physical organism. The soul is a function of consciousness. But yeah, when you pick them up again, pause and just be in their energy. You're gonna exchange information back and forth as energy, right? You're gonna receive some really powerful ideas from them that they now have access to where they are. Wow. Hi, Nikki. Do you have a message for me? I need some clarity, please. Yeah, Nikki, you got to drop that. Yeah, you got to pull away from being so caught up in the physical stuff. You got to pull away from being so caught up in the physical stuff. You need to pull your attention inward to yourself. This is a time for you to start healing your mind and healing your body. Trying to find relief from your suffering. Again, this is just the words they're giving me. To try and find relief in suffering through him is not the way. You need to become that. Become your own healer. Become your own healer. Yeah, and I'm also getting that there's a change. You need to make a move into a different position of work. You need to make a move into a different position of work that will be more fulfilling for you than the one you're in. Yes. And I get social media will be really powerful for you. Share your journey on social media with others. Your journey from where you are to where you're going. Share it with others. They need to know. You didn't come here to suffer. Oh, thank you. You're welcome, SJK. I really appreciate that. Any message from my son, Quinn, please? All the time, he says. Would you tell her to listen to me? Okay. He wants you to listen to him. You need to listen to him. Like he says, he keeps trying to talk to you, but you keep not realizing he's actually there. This happens to a lot of people. They come close to us energetically. And suddenly we're thinking about that, and then we go, oh, I miss him so much. But you're not. The moment you're having that awareness because he's trying to connect to you. Like, you know this is true because you're getting goosebumps. I can feel it. Right? Like he's with you right now. And if you just feel the presence of his being, not look for the physical body or miss the physical, be present with his energy so that communion can happen. It's the real thing. You know, the 5 sensory world is not the only world that we can perceive, folks. I want to thank the Divine Collective for being present with us today. And I want to thank all of you for coming out and sharing your questions and your insights. And I want to thank my moderators for helping out here too. They're absolutely awesome. Chris, thank you so much for your support of all the people on YouTube. And for those of you that are on Facebook that are helping others out, again, thank you too. For those of you that are thank you for our first subscriber on TikTok, and thank you so much. I'll reach out to you for that. And also my subscribers and patrons, thank you so much for your support. I also want to mention too that one of the things that we do support, we give 10% of what we get to a group called Our Underground Railroad. That is an organization that goes out and rescues children from the sex slave trade industry, and also disassembles and dismantles these organizations that perpetuate the stealing and trafficking of children and people in general. And I want to give a shout out to Our Underground Railroad for all the amazing work that you guys do helping children. And if those of you listening here right now, if you want, please, that's one of the places we support. So any support you give us here, know that we also pass that support on to Underground Railroad. So know that you are serving a service beyond just this program here. Again, I want to wish you all much love. I hope to see you guys on Wednesday. Well, I will see you guys on Wednesdays, but I hope I see some of you here on Wednesday as well. And much love, everybody. And bye for now.